everything is up to date. We're gonna get into the lesson. Gotta make sure everything is up to date, man. All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom. Giving all praises and immense glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakahak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Sincere shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, the elect tabernacle of David. Okay, and we're gonna come at you with another live lesson through the Spirit. And what did I title this lesson, man? Okay, you cannot judge anybody. Only God can judge me. This is a filthy lie. All right. I put in parentheses, you cannot judge anybody. Only God can judge me. This is a filthy lie, right? And I want to talk about how, people use that narrative that only God can judge me, bullshit, as a scapegoat, so they can't be held accountable for their wrongdoings, So whenever somebody is called out for doing something abominable, whenever somebody is called out for disorderly conduct, you know what I'm saying? They could just run to the narrative of, oh, well, you can't judge me. Only God can judge me. Yeah, so what? I'm a homosexual. So what? I'm a prostitute. So what? I do drugs. So what? I'm a gang member. Right? How can you judge me? Only God is the true judge. Right? But these people, they don't understand because, like Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. People don't understand that the Heavenly Father, okay, has set up individuals on this planet to cast righteous judgment upon people who are going in the wrong direction. Hell, even the average person can cast judgment on you and tell you that you're going off and tell you, nah, that's not the right way to do it. Nah, that lifestyle is wicked. You wicked for that. Okay, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You see, but these people, they don't like to hear anything that holds them accountable. So somebody wicked is just gonna jump to that narrative and be like, well, you're not, they'll say some shit like, you're not perfect. How can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? Right? But when you read the scriptures, it tells you that you as an individual, if you have the eye salve, if you have an understanding of the Holy Spirit, you can cast judgment upon somebody, right? And call them out for their wickedness, right? What do you think Isaiah 58:1 is about? Where it talks about cry aloud, lift up thy voice as a trumpet, shew my people their transgressions. You see that? Show them that they're going off. Tell them to their face, okay, that they're wicked, right? You're supposed to condemn wickedness, man, right? The scriptures say you're supposed to abhor. Let me get that real quick, okay? Abhor abomination, right? And then after we'll get that word judgment, right? And what that actually means. Did I get that? Okay, this is Sirach 17:26. It says, turn again to the Most High and turn away from iniquity, right? For he will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently. Okay? So you're supposed to hate wickedness, right? You're supposed to be disgusted at it. And if you see somebody doing wickedness, all right, you're supposed to call it out, right? because wickedness is a plague. It's a virus. You let one motherfucker get away with it and make let them think that it's cool. The next thing you know, you got the whole city doing it. Just like the this homosexual virus, right? That spiraled out of control. How did that spiral out of control? How is it now, right? Because remember, sodomites used to be what they call in the closet. They used to get shamed for even coming outside, right? A sodomite. But now the sodomite, he's a part of the everyday culture. You see, he's serving you drinks. The sodomite is, he's your mechanic. You know what I'm saying? He's everywhere. The homosexuals are everywhere. How did it get to this point to where now that wickedness of homosexuality has spread all across the board? Nobody's holding anybody accountable. Nobody's calling out the wickedness of homosexuality and telling them straight to their face, hey, man, get your gay, nasty ass the fuck up out of here. And sometimes, yeah, it got to come rough like that. Okay? That's a part of hating abomination vehemently. If you hate something vehemently, let me get that word vehemently, man. If you hate something vehemently, does that mean you be nice about it? No, you're supposed to hate it. And if you hate it, okay, there's going to be a sense of disgust inside of you, and you're liable to cuss somebody the fuck out. Back then, they used to put niggas to death. If they hated the abomination that somebody was doing, they'll put them to death. Okay? Let's get that word vehemently. All right? Vehemently. Hang on. Okay? What does that mean? Because I think that means extreme. You're supposed to hate wickedness with an extreme hatred. Vehemently is an adverb that means doing something in a forceful, passionate, or intensely emotional manner. Right. So, like the scriptures say, you're not supposed to hold back your tongue from wickedness, man. Right? You're supposed to go against wickedness with passion. Okay? You're not supposed to give any excuse to it. All right? You're not supposed to, rationalize it in your mind on some bullshit like, oh, well, you just never know what somebody's going through. You never know. You never know what that person is going through. You never know what they went through as a child. And you can't really judge them because their mama did that. Man, get the fuck out of here with that punk ass shit. Okay? A lot of these motherfuckers that's doing all of this wickedness, these are grown adults, man, that should know better. All right? Like them gang members that be on the corner, right? Shucking and jiving, talking about on the dead homies, right? Still got an evil eye towards their brother. Them niggas is grown adults with that mentality. And if they're grown adults, then they have the responsibility to snap out of that bullshit. They have to hold themselves accountable. You can't keep coddling. See, everybody wants to condemn somebody that's on a righteous path, but when it comes down to somebody wicked, everybody's coddling that individual. Everybody has an excuse, right, for somebody wicked. A wicked nigga got all the time in the world, right, to get himself cleaned up. You know what I mean? Everybody's giving somebody wicked an excuse because of that bullshit narrative. Only God can judge me. People think that they can't judge nobody when you know goddamn well that shit that they doing ain't right. Right? This is the word judgment. Okay? It says this is the definition. It says the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. You see that? Make a decision. Hey, that nigga's wicked. He shouldn't be doing that. Right? And you shouldn't feel bad. This world shouldn't be making you feel bad for telling somebody that they're not right. Right? Because this is how it spiraled out of control the way that it has. Because when somebody stands up and says, hey, that's not right. Women shouldn't be having a goddamn hoe phase. Men should be like this. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be eating GMO foods. This world will shame you for shit like that. Oh, man, come on, man. Who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Okay? And you can judge, man. You have the authority by Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai to judge a matter. That's why it says the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. You know, it's a whole bunch of selective morality going on out here, man, within this world, right? You got a nigga like Jeffrey Dahmer. You got a serial killer. When it comes down to extreme cases, right, like a goddamn pedo or a serial killer, everybody can cast judgment on that because it's an extreme case to them. That's not right. No, Jeffrey Dahmer, he doesn't deserve life. He doesn't deserve life, right? You know? But what about the little things that are corrupt in this world? Like, right? Like I said, like homosexuality, like women being sluts and whores. You know what I'm saying? Like gang members, like what else? Drug dealers, like thieves, right? When it comes down to those avenues, everybody's quiet on it. There's a gray area. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be like that, okay? All right? It shouldn't be like that. All right? Motherfuckers try to only God can judge me they way into feeling better about the wicked shit that they do. Okay? And yes, we can judge each other. Okay? We can cast judgment on one another, man. All right? Let me get this real quick. This is John 7:24. It says, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Okay? You can judge somebody, man. Don't feel bad about it either. All right? Because that's what this world wants to make you believe, that your opinion on wicked shit happening in front of you, you shouldn't feel that way because you're not perfect and you can't say nothing about them. You see? No, you can judge righteous judgment. This is the authority from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. This is the authority from Yahushai himself saying judge righteous judgment. Okay? You see somebody going off. You see somebody doing something wicked. You have the authority to call that shit out and tell them, hey, cut that shit out. Because like the scriptures say, open rebuke is better than secret love. Right? It's better that you tell that individual straight up to their face that, hey, you going off, rather than being passive aggressive about it and letting that wickedness fester to the point to where it corrupts everybody around them, man. All right? That's the type of world we live in because nobody's holding anybody accountable, you see? Let me get this real quick. This is Matthew 18, and we're going to start at verse 15. It says, moreover, if thy brother trespass against thee, right? Meaning that, your fellow kinsman, right? Your brother, right? He, offends you or do something that, you didn't appreciate, pissed you off or whatever the case may be, right? Or even, let me block this person. Hebrew Israelites are stupid. Go ahead and block you, man. You're done. Hide you from that. I'm not even giving you niggas a chance today. What was I saying? Yeah. So your brother, he offends you, right? He doing something wicked, okay? This is how you handle it. It says, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. You see that? Go tell him straight to his face. Hey, you tripping. Hey, man, you going off. Hey, man, what you did last week, that wasn't right. You see? You hold him accountable. And that's how that judgment, that type of judgment should be spread all across the globe, man. That's how you keep things in order, right? That's how things stay on the path of righteousness. When everybody's being held accountable, man. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's doing that. You wonder why industries like the music industry is just so corrupt and filthy and nasty. And we went from conscious rap to Sexy Red, some fucking ghetto rugrat raccoon face bitch, right? That's just obsessed with twerking her ass and talking, saying some of the most nasty, egregious shit on a microphone. You wonder how we got from conscious rap to this, is because nobody's holding anybody accountable. So now people are just letting their demons just, pop out like a goddamn flamingo. You know what I'm saying? Or not a flamingo, a peacock. That's a better bird, right? Because the peacock that motherfucker popped them wings out, right? And you can see all the colors, right? So people are just letting their demons just be a public display with no shame, okay? Because they don't have to worry about somebody coming up to them and telling them, "Hey, man, what the fuck is you doing?" You know, and as people, right, we need that, especially within the Israelite community. We need that. You need somebody to tell you when you tripping, because it can go too far, right? And then next thing you know, the wickedness that you're doing that's been going unchecked can leak off into somebody else. Now you got another person doing it with you, then another person, then another person. You see, it's supposed to be nipped at the bud, man. All right. It says, "If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother." Right. Roughly paraphrasing, the scriptures say a wise man is going to latch on to knowledge. So when somebody that's wise gets reproved, right, and comes into the seat of judgment, right, because judgment is not always just the Lord's wrath, the Lord just putting you to death. Judgment can be somebody telling you where you're going off at, somebody critiquing you. You know what I'm saying? Being critiqued, being vetted, right? That's judgment, okay? Or somebody coming upon you with a final decision, right? And telling you about yourself, right? With no restraint, okay? Now, if somebody who's wise is gonna listen to that and be like, "Okay, you know what? You're right. Let me clean myself up." And a lot of niggas out here just need that. They need just that. They need somebody to just tell their ass, "Hey, man, what the fuck is you doing? This is wicked. You ain't right for that. Okay? You need to stop this." Right? And that could save somebody's life. That could change their mindset and be like, "Damn, I've been doing it the wrong way." But when you have a 35-year-old man that's just been wicked his whole life and ain't nobody telling him nothing, and in fact, this world is so goddamn wicked. This world is so goddamn wicked. Hide you again, man. Who is this now? Hebrew Israelites are dumb and oh my gosh. Hate daddy. So a faggot. Oh my gosh, man. Probably method crosshair again. Block you again, man. Keep on coming with the channels, man. Because I'm just gonna keep blocking you, bro. All right. Hebrew Israelites are dumb and braid, whatever. You just gonna keep getting blocked, man. So thank you for popping out. You're a dumbass. You might as well you should just listen and then just talk your little shit from behind the screen. Because the more channels you pop up with, man, it's just gonna keep getting blocked. Ain't nobody going for that shit with you niggas today, man. All right. Okay. Let me keep going. In verse 16, it says, "But if he will not hear thee," right? And the majority of this world is not trying to hear any judgment, right? Because people don't like to be told that they're going in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? That's how women are. Women don't take accountability for the things that they do. That's why the scriptures say, she eateth and wipeth her mouth and say, "I have done no wickedness." You know what I'm saying? So that's people who have not taken accountability, people who don't want to hear any type of judgment. They don't want to be cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to admit their faults. You see? It says, "Then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established." Yeah. So the Lord said, if the person don't hear your judgment, right? So if somebody's going off, somebody's doing wickedness, right? And you tell them about themselves and they don't want to hear it, the Lord gives you the authority to go grab other people and judge that person. So where is this only God can judge me? The Lord is giving an instruction manual on how to judge somebody, right? So yes, you can judge somebody. And that lie of only God can judge me that you niggas hide behind, so can't nobody call you out, that's a filthy lie, man. All right. And that shit has gotten a lot of people, all right, to go absolutely left, okay, with no accountability, man. All right. This is Ecclesiasticus 32 and 17, Sirach 32 and 17. It says, a sinful man will not be reproved. Yeah, you can't tell these people nothing because they truly believe in their mind that who are you to tell me something? How can you judge me? You're not perfect. Well, that's the thing. We never said we were perfect, right? You ain't got to be perfect to cast judgment on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Do I have to be perfect to know that some homeless dude on the street has ruined his life? You know what I mean? By him doing drugs and making bad decisions in his life. Do I have to be perfect to declare that judgment when it's obvious right in front of my face? No, you don't have to be perfect to cast judgment on somebody. You just gotta have the understanding of the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, so that way you can know what to judge. Because a lot of people are out here trying to make judgments and they're making the wrong judgments because they're not doing it by the scriptures, man. Okay, so once you get knowledge of the Lord, you know what to judge. You can measure things. You can measure things. Um, you can measure things by the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can measure things according to the scriptures. You know, you can measure things. You know, based on what the Lord said, right? You go into the law, right? You find out where somebody is going off at, and you could call it out. And you could tell them to their face. The Lord gives you all of this authority to tell a nigga straight to his face, hey, man, that shit you doing is foul. You shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. You shouldn't be eating shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork. It's bad for your body. You shouldn't be doing that. Here it is. It's in the law right here. But it says a sinful man will not be reproved, right? They're not going to hear you, okay? Because these people think that the Lord has not given men on the earth the authority to tell them anything, right? But meanwhile, when a nigga get a goddamn traffic ticket, okay, and he go appear by the judge in the court of in Esau's courtroom, right? People have no problem with that. You know, people don't question who the judge is in the courts. You don't question them when they cast an actual judgment on you and tell you 30 years for the for the violation that you committed. Don't nobody got nothing to say against that. But when somebody that's next to them is telling them that what they doing is wrong, they can't hear it. You see? That's because a lot of these people are deep down rotten, right? They're deep down rotten and they have selective morality. All right. It says, but a sinful man will not be reproved. Ecclesiasticus 32 and 17. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. Yeah. Right. And one of the biggest excuses that niggas like to use is only God can judge me. That's the biggest. That's like the reason for like 90% of the wicked shit we see today, man. Why, you want to wonder why you got a motherfucker that, you know, I know you seen them people, them motherfuckers be looking like freaks. Whole body tatted up, piercings all over the fucking face, right? The nigga looks like a monster. I seen a nigga like that, whole body tatted up, piercings all in the face. I'm talking about in the nose, on top of the nose, eyelids, lips, cheeks, forehead, piercings everywhere, right? Nigga even tattooed his pupils black, so that way you can't even see his pupils anymore. This nigga's walking around looking like a Frankenstein creation, right? You wonder how a nigga got to that point. How did he get to that point of degeneracy? because he's rolling off of the narrative that, well, I could do whatever the hell I want because who are these people to judge me, right? Only God has the final judgment on me. Well, dummy, you don't understand that the Lord has set up prophets and priests to tell you how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai feels about your lifestyle? Yes, the Lord has set up individuals on earth to tell you how he feels about your lifestyle, right? So if you hear a prophet tell you, hey man, you having sex with another man's wife is wicked, and you shouldn't be doing that, and if you keep doing that, you're going to be destroyed by the Heavenly Father, right? The Lord told him to tell you that, okay? The Most High is not, see, this is what people are so simple in their minds. They think that the Lord is going to come to them in a dream and tell them, hey, Kevin, I don't like the way you've been putting all them tattoos on your body. I don't like your homosexuality. Like the Lord is going to come to them straight up in a dream and tell them, right, what he feels. No, the Lord is going to put the spirit on other people to tell you how he feels, man. All right, you just got to be tuned in, okay, to the Holy Spirit, man, to understand that. So yes, you have the authority to judge somebody, man. You can put a judgment on somebody, okay? You can put a judgment on somebody. You can tell somebody that they wicked. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not evil for that. And no, you're not perfect, right? But it don't matter. The Lord didn't, there's nowhere in the law, there's nowhere in the scriptures that says, thou must be perfect before you judge another person. No, okay? That ain't how it work, all right? You niggas is just wicked out here, man, all right? And you don't want nobody telling you what to do. We know what it is, okay? Let me get another one. What is this one? Okay, let's get this. This is John 3:20. It says, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. Yeah, and you know, people that don't want to be judged, they don't want to be critiqued. They don't want anybody to tell them that they're going off. These are people that hate the light, because what does the light do? The light reveals, right? The light reveals who you are, right? And people don't want to be revealed. They want to stay filthy. They want to hide behind the character that they've created in their mind, right? They want to hide behind their selective morality of what they think is right and wrong, right? They don't want to be revealed in that light, because the light is the scriptures. You judge everything by the scriptures. You judge everything by the law of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? The Lord has given us the actual law in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, and the rest of the Bible is basically stories and examples, all right, of how men and women navigated their life according to the law of the Most High, right? So there's no excuse. You don't have an excuse, okay? You don't have an excuse, all right? You don't like what somebody's telling you? Well, hey, big fucking whoop, it's the truth. Shouldn't no goddamn faggot, all right, be running around the streets in cheetah print, okay? Talking like a goddamn woman. That's one thing I can't stand about a goddamn homosexual. You'll have a big ass nigga look like Shannon Sharp, right? And then they put on that little punk ass voice. Hey, hello. You know, nigga trying to talk like a goddamn woman. And it's like, why is nobody telling this nigga he look ridiculous with his big ass? You know, nigga 6'5", right? You could, obviously this is a man, big ass shoulders, but he got a wig on, right? Nigga got a fucking wig on. You can see the 5 o'clock shadow. You can tell he shaves on a day-to-day basis, right? He got a fucking wig on, and he's manipulated his own voice to sound like a teenage girl. That shit is ridiculous to me. And it's like, why is nobody saying anything about that? Why is this nigga around regular people? There's no judgment, all right? There's no judgment. Nobody's holding anybody accountable because they don't feel that people feel like they don't have the authority to tell that big ass sodomite that you tripping because, oh, well, I'm not God, so I can't tell him what to do. All right. Little did you know. Little did you know you actually do have the authority to tell that nigga he tripping. Okay. It says, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. You see, people don't want to come into the light. People don't want to come to the realization that, you know, you can be judged, right, by other people, right? Because then they have to admit that, you know, their doings are evil, man. They got to admit, now they have to admit that. You know what I'm saying? Now they have to admit that, you know, what they've been doing, all right, is an abomination. You know what I'm saying? You know? So people don't want to come to the light. So that this is why people create these lies in their mind that only God can judge them. Right? And I'm telling you, a lot of wickedness has gone underneath the floorboards based off this narrative, man. That's why I'm talking about it. Because I always hear motherfuckers saying this. You'll have a bitch on the goddamn internet, right? Just half naked. She's on the internet half naked. Right? A whore, right? There's no other way to say it. Just being a whore on the internet, right? And you look on the comment section, it's a bunch of people clapping it on. That's right, girl. Do what you got to do. But then you'll have one person that's like, nah, that ain't right. Somebody will say that in the comment section. Nah, that ain't right. You know what I mean? She shouldn't be doing that. She should be conducting herself like a respectable young lady. Everybody will jump that individual on the comment board, right? And they'll say exactly what I'm saying. Who are you to judge her? Who are you to judge her? You're not God. You're not God. Well, if God gives you the understanding, right, to see that somebody's wicked, you can cast that judgment on them, man. Okay? You can cast that judgment on them. This is authority from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, and this is the authority that the Lord has given the prophets, man. All right? Let me get that real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 6:2. It says, do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? You see that? Judge the world, right? Cast judgments on people. Tell people that they going off. Call out the wickedness, right? The saints have that authority. Okay? I'm going to read it again. 1 Corinthians 6:2. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? Right. So for all of you niggas out there that got that mentality of what's the point of the Hebrew Israelites? Why are y'all out there on the corner cussing people out, telling people that they wicked? Because the Lord has given us the authority to do it. All right? The Lord has given us that authority to do that, man. Okay? And in fact, the Lord told us that we have to do it or else he going to put us to death. All right? Another, just keep on blocking them, man. That's all you got to do, man. All right? Keep on blocking them. But the Lord has given us the authority, right? The Lord has given us the authority to cast that judgment on these people, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai told the men of the Lord to go out there and go tell them that they going off. This is what the prophets have always done. Okay? But people have always ran from that accountability because they feel as though only God has the final judgment on me. You know? Only God is the one that can tell me that I'm going off. And if he ain't said nothing, I'm good. I could keep doing my wickedness. Right? I could keep doing drugs. You know? I could be loose with my body. So what? God ain't told me nothing yet. Right? But the Lord has given the authority to his saints. Okay? The Lord has given the authority to his saints to tell your ass that nigga you tripping. All right? This is just proving the point that only God can judge me as a filthy lie. All right? You can be judged by other people as well, man. Especially somebody with a righteous mind. They can judge you. Okay? It says, and if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Okay? Now let's get let's did I get this? Yeah, okay, I got this. Let's get this scripture, and then I'm gonna get an example uh of a situation where a man of the Lord judged somebody, right? And you people will call that wicked. You people will run to the defense of the individual that's wicked and be like, why did he do that? Why did he tell him that? Who is he? He's not God. Well, he don't got to be God. There's nowhere in the scriptures where it says you have to be God to cast judgment on people. In fact, there's an entire book in the scriptures called the Book of Judges. What do you think that book was about? The Book of Judges. It was about men that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai raised up to cast judgment on people, to make final decisions on individuals, man. The Lord is all about judgment, man. Okay? And you casting your opinion on somebody, right? And telling them, nigga, you're being a goddamn devil. Nigga, you're wicked. The problem is that people have gone so long without this culture of being held accountable that they've completely tapped into the left hand, right? They've gone so long without somebody telling them that, you know what I'm saying, what they're doing is an abomination. They've gone so long by doing that. Now, when somebody calls them out, they look all puzzled, like, what you mean? I've been doing this for so long. God ain't said nothing to me yet. God ain't did nothing to me yet. Okay? Got the completely wrong idea about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. All right? So this is Acts 5. And we're going to start at verse 1, okay? All right? This is a story about how the Apostle Peter casted judgment on a man and his wife because they was being wicked. All right? It says, Acts 5:1, it says, but a certain man named Ananias and Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. You see? So it was a time period in the book of Acts where the church came together and every individual pretty much sold everything they had, you know, or whatever valuables they had, and they brought it, okay, to the pot, so that way everybody can share it. Because you know, at the time the ministry, it was it was being persecuted, it was being hunted down, so the believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the true believers, they couldn't. A lot of them couldn't, be out in the open and get a normal job and just, function around regular people. So everybody had to come together, man, right? And that time is coming to where, the believers is going to come back together, right? And hey, the Lord might have us in a situation where we all got to share. We all got to share. You know what I mean? We all gonna have to bring everything we got into the pot, and we gonna all have to work together. And there can't be any selfish activity going on. Okay. So you had this man and his wife, right? They were supposed to do that. They were supposed to, bring their possessions to the pot, and they kept it back for themselves, right? Being selfish and greedy. That was a wicked thing that they did. Now in this world, okay, somebody find a justification for that and be like, well, I mean, he had to help his family. How you don't know what he had to go through. You don't know what Ananias and Sapphira had to go through. Have you ever heard about it from their point of view? No. You don't need to hear about it from a wicked individual's point of view. I don't need to hear your wicked ass point of view. If you doing some off shit, if you foul, nigga, it needs to be called out, and there needs to be a consequence for it. Period. Point blank. That's how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai get down, man. Fuck your point of view, fuck your feelings, and fuck your little sob story of why you did that wicked ass shit. Nigga, you did it and you need to be judged for it. And it's going to show you that as we continue on in Acts 5. This is Acts 5:3. It says, but Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? Yeah, so Peter confronted his ass and cussed him out for that, for him being wicked. Now, did Peter just say, well, I mean, hey, he had to do what he had to do. I mean, who am I to judge him? Only God can judge him. No, Peter came directly to him. Okay, because remember, I read that in Matthew, right? If your brother trespass against you, right, you're supposed to go up to him and tell him that he's going off. That's exactly what Peter did. You see? He went up to him and cussed his ass out and said, nigga, you got Satan on you, right? To be selfish like that, man. What's your problem? You see? That's how you hold somebody accountable, right? You uncover their wicked deeds in front of their face. We don't have enough of that, right? We don't have enough of that. That's why you got sorry ass niggas that keep on coming on my comment board. And this nigga, this faggot bitch ass nigga, this nigga then created a whole goddamn channel and copied my name, right? Just so he can scoff. Like, what kind of nigga is this, man? For real, what kind of dude? Because I know he's listening right now, and he probably nigga on Gmail trying to create another email so he could talk shit again. This is this is an individuals like this on the comment board are individuals that have been operating in pure filthiness, pure abomination, and they've never been held accountable for nothing. So now that demon is just on them, just festering, and now they're coming at the righteous, man. Now they so wicked they can't even see, right, that they're being wicked anymore, because they're not being held accountable. You see? This is why Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to bring back the death penalty on the planet Earth for violating the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what the kingdom of heaven is going to be predicated upon. You cross the line, nigga, you getting put to death. Ain't nobody going to hear your little sob story about why you decided to eat that fucking pig, nigga. You know you wasn't supposed to do it. You know that shit is wicked. You know that's an abomination, and you did it anyway. Nigga, this is the consequence. That's what the world need to go back to. Fuck all this little gray area shit, right? Hearing somebody's story about why they doing this wicked ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go on YouTube, you know what I mean? Niggas be doing interviews, criminal. This nigga's a criminal, right? And but when he do an interview, he create this goddamn sob story about why he was a criminal, and he'll say some shit like, "Oh, this is just the life I was born to do," you know what I mean, or some shit like that. This is just the cards I was dealt, And then people will watch that and be like, "Yeah, man, hey, you just never know what somebody's going through. You just never know." No, but the nigga's wicked though. What about that aspect? What about telling that individual, nigga, you're a criminal, you're involved in all sorts of illegal activity? That's not right. Okay? And it's not enough of that going on. That's why you got just all sorts of wicked characters just popping up, doing some of the most egregious, nasty shit you've ever seen, man. Because nobody is telling anybody, nobody's casting any true judgment on other individuals, man. Everybody's hiding behind only God can judge me, man. All right. Verse 4, it says, whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. You see, so Peter called his ass out and told him, look, man, this is you responsible for holding back all of them possessions that you were supposed to put in the middle of the pot. You were supposed to do that. Why? Peter was pretty much holding him accountable. Like, look, man, you did that shit. You did that wicked ass shit. Telling him straight to his face. And I'm pretty sure he did that in front of other people too. He did that in front of the whole congregation. So everybody's sitting there looking at Ananias like, you wicked ass nigga. And you know Ananias was sitting there with his head down like, shit, man, fuck. I mean, I don't know. You know when niggas get caught doing some wickedness, they, oh, I don't know. I mean, man, I don't know, man. Right? But that's how, hey, somebody that's doing wickedness, that's how they supposed to feel. Right? That's how they supposed to feel. Because that right there can save their life. You know, if you let them know about themselves. But some niggas need to be eliminated. Some niggas need judgment cast upon them so that way they could be eliminated, which that's also for the greater good as well. You see? Verse 5, it says, and Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost, and he died right there on the spot. You see? So a judgment was placed upon him so that way he could be put to death. All right? And that was for the greater good. Because what he did, that selfish ass shit, you know, now imagine if he would have got away with that. Imagine if Peter had that mentality of only God can judge him. I'm just going to let him get away with that. And hopefully he come to his senses. But, you know, hey, who am I to say anything about him? Imagine if Peter went that direction, right? And that nigga did that, right? And then somebody else got privy to it and said, he got away with it. Ananias got away with it. Maybe I can get away with it. Then the next nigga, then the next nigga, then the next nigga. The next thing you know, the whole ministry is fucked up and scrambled because of that one nigga that got away with that psycho shit. All right? One nigga that got away with that sin. Right? See, so that had to be nipped in the bud. Wickedness has to be nipped in the fucking bud, man. That way it does not spiral out of control. All right? Let me get this last scripture right here, man. Okay? This is Deuteronomy 17 and verse 2, and then we'll go down to verse 6. It says, if there be found among you within any of thy gates which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God in transgressing his covenant. Yeah, so this is the Lord. Basically, the Lord has given us an instruction manual on what to do when you see somebody being wicked, when you see somebody going off. Okay? And when I keep reading, it's not going to say anything about turn the other cheek and only let God deal with them. Right? No, it's not going to say anything like that, man. Okay? If you identify it, okay, and you have the urge to say something about it, then say something about it. All right? Now, you still got to be wise, okay? I wouldn't suggest just running around the city calling people out, random people out, because you still got to be wise. You got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, right? But if it's within your power to call somebody out and let them know that they being wicked, right? And it makes sense in the spirit, right? And the spirit is on you, okay? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. And you shouldn't feel bad, okay? You shouldn't feel bad. You know, don't let nobody guilt trip you into thinking that you can't tell them nothing because you're not perfect. Nigga, shut up, man. Okay? Shut up. All right? You going off. And I don't give a fuck what you feel. Okay? Cardi B is an abomination. Okay? I don't need to be perfect to say that. I don't need to be perfect to call out some wicked ass nigga like Saucy Santana, some big fucking linebacker homosexual. I don't need to be perfect to know that's not right. Okay? And we don't have to wait on, I mean, the Lord Most High is always going to bring everything into judgment, but you don't have to wait until the Lord makes a physical move on the individual until you could tell him something. No, you could tell a nigga something way before anything happens. Okay? This is a part of our culture, man. There's nothing wrong with that. All right? Stop hiding behind that, man. Stop hiding behind that only God can judge me shit. I hate that shit. You know, bitches be on the podcast just telling they most wildest secrets, being a, you know, just they host secrets. Like, yeah, I let 3 niggas fuck me in one day, and you know what I mean. I be having sex in the back seat, and I be eating niggas ass out, and just all types of wild ass secrets. No shame, no filter on her mouth, right? And she's doing that because in her mind, who is anybody to tell me something? People like to hide behind their little accolades too. Well, who are you to tell me something? I got money. I got a nice car. Look at my house. God has blessed me. So obviously I'm not doing nothing wrong. God ain't said nothing yet. Well, all right. Well, the Lord has risen up people to tell you that you're going off. Okay. The Lord has done that. People just can't accept it, man. All right. Verse 3. It says, and have gone and served other gods and worshiped them, either the sun or moon or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it and inquired diligently. Yeah. So when you see a nigga doing some wickedness and you seeing it and it's happening right in front of you, okay, you know, and you know that it's not right, okay. It says, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. Now, this is what was going on back in the day. You know? This is what was going on back in the day, man. All right? Motherfuckers wasn't waiting until the Most High strike a wicked nigga down with lightning, right? People weren't waiting for that. People were, you know what I'm saying? We were commanded. You see that wickedness, you get on that shit right away. Okay, you don't let that shit continue, because like I said, it's a virus, it's a plague, man. Verse 6, it says, at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? So a congregation can come together and judge you. Okay? People can come together and cast judgment upon you. All right? It says, shall he that is worthy of death to be put to death, but at the mouth of one witness he shall not be put to death. Okay? So where is all of this bullshit about only God can judge me, nobody can judge me? No. The scriptures say that you can be judged by anybody out here. Anybody with the right mind towards the Lord, they can judge you. All right? They could bring you into the court of law. They could tell you that your deeds are evil. Okay? And like I keep saying, it's not enough of that happening, man. This is why the world has completely went left field, right? This is why you have so much wickedness in the world that's being unchecked. And it's like nobody's doing anything about it. But that's because these people feel as though, well, it's not my business to say anything. It's who am I to say anything? You see? Back in the day, the men of the cities used to make sure that wasn't no funny business going on within the cities. Men, before the police would even get wind of it, the men would be on top of it. The average man will come together and be like, okay, that nigga, he over there acting like a bitch ass nigga. He fucking up the neighborhood. We're going to go knock on that nigga door and we're going to drag that nigga out the house and whoop his ass and tell him that he tripping for that bullshit he been doing in this neighborhood. You see? Now, to you people, that a situation like that might seem like, oh, that's not right. That's not right. But they're doing that. They had to do that for the greater good, right? So that way he can stop, and that way everybody around him that may think that that shit is cool, right, will never follow in them footsteps. All right? You see? So the only God can judge me narrative, that is a filthy lie. All right? The only God can judge me narrative is a filthy lie. Okay? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai puts the spirit on people to cast judgments on other people, man. All right? putting your opinion on somebody is not wicked, right? Telling somebody to their face that the lifestyle that they're living is an abomination is not wicked. Okay, it's actually within concordance of the law Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I just read it. All right. Until you wicked niggas on this comment board, you know, because I think this is the same guy. This guy is making channel after channel after channel. He might be an agent. You might be sent directly from Esau, because that's the only explanation for why a nigga has this much determination to stalk somebody on their comment board and make channel after channel. That's the only explanation why you would do that. You might be an agent, you might be working for the US government or something like that, but there's nothing you could do to stop this word, man. All your little funny shit, all that little snickering and trying to be funny, the Lord is going to bring your wicked ass, okay, into the court of law, and the Lord is going to destroy your nasty ass. All right? Because like the scriptures say, like Moses told the children of Israel in the wilderness, you're not murmuring against us. You're not murmuring against the mortal man that you see. You're murmuring against the heavenly Father. So you niggas that's talking shit on these comment boards and trying to be funny, all right, you're going to be face to face with the wrath of the Lord pretty soon, man. All right? Keep fucking around, man. Keep fucking around. Hey, I'm not getting mad. It don't do nothing to my spirit. I actually want you niggas to keep popping out and keep saying your little dumb shit, so that way you could be marked in the spirit, man, and the Lord could, he could track you down and where your whole life. The Lord could track you down in your personal life, all right, and destroy you. That's what I'm hoping. All right? You niggas that be on this comment board talking shit. Any of you niggas got kids? Might be a nigga with kids on here talking shit. Well, hey, I pray that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai put that fucking wrath on you niggas' kids, man. That's one way to shut a nigga up, man. Humble you. Put that wrath on your children, man. All right? Lord, give your little child cancer. You know what I mean? Give your daughter cancer, nigga. Okay? Your little son run out in the middle of the street and getting smacked by a fucking car, and he's paralyzed in the hospital on life support. Keep fucking around with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man, and you wicked ass niggas is gonna find out, okay? So with that, I'll go ahead and give all praises and immense glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kahakwadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, shalom.